Hey guys, come on downstairs, bring another Microsoft Flight Simulator career mode video to you today. We just got finished with all of our jobs in Las Vegas, and we have moved on to San Antonio. Our fleet so far, after 17 jobs, still consists of just our little Cessna 152. That's the only thing we've got. And we are stationed here in Stinson Municipal Airport in San Antonio, Texas. It's January 4th, 8:33 a.m. And our first job is to take a witness to Killeen to testify in a military trial. So from San Antonio up to Killeen, Texas, not a super long flight. We are going to be navigating, it's about 133 nautical miles. Going to be navigating around a couple VORs. I weigh 226. Our passenger will have him 175, him, her, I'm not sure who it is. I don't get too detailed on that stuff, but so yeah, we'll maybe just leave our fuel at 50% there, and let's go through our startup. Mixture to rich, throttle in, 1/4 of an inch or so, battery and alternator on, beacon on, and prime it a couple of times. And then we go ahead and go right magneto, left magneto, both, and start. Okay, we're up and running. We made the trip from Las Vegas to San Antonio in 5 legs. We get all our lights on, adjust our trim for takeoff, and let's look at our route here today from San Antonio to Killeen, Texas. We'll zoom out a little ways. We're starting at KSSF. That is Stinson Municipal. We're going to head towards the DHK VOR. Vortac, 109.9 frequency. So we will put that frequency into our Nav1 radio and activate it. Our second waypoint looks like it will be the CWK Vortac with a frequency of 112.8, and we will set that one as our standby in Nav1. And then from there we'll take a radial away from that VOR to find the airport in Killeen, Texas. Right now, not much breeze there, and it looks like it's clear, so good weather up in Killeen. And they do have a localizer approach. We're just going to go ahead and put that frequency in for the localizer 01 approach. It looks like there was a wind of 3 knots up there at 300 and something, but 3 knots isn't that much. So we're going to anticipate landing on runway 1. We'll see if anything changes before we get up there. The course to our first waypoint.
Stinson Airport information, Mike 1400 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 10. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.98. Visual runway 14 in use. Landing and departing runway 14.
Ground Cessna Bravo Golf Tree with November request taxi for takeoff departure to the north.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree taxi to and hold short of runway 14 via taxiway Bravo. Contact tower on 118.2 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 14 via taxiway Bravo Cessna Bravo Golf Tree.
Okay, so we're going to be taking off runway 14, taking off heading to the southeast, and then we'll depart to the north when we're okayed to do so. And we begin our taxi. Let's make our way out to runway 14. So if you're new to the series, I use the ATC to the best of its ability. There's obviously limitations and issues that arise with it, but we try our best. Try our best to make do. Hopefully eventually Asobo will maybe revamp that ATC system and improve upon it, because it's pretty outdated. I mean, it's pretty much the same as it was back in, when was it introduced? 2002, so like over 20 years ago. So I mean, they should be able to make some improvements on that, I would think. But we do the best we can with it. It's not always going to be perfect. There's going to be times where we just flat out ignore it. There's going to be times where it cuts out on us, it doesn't work. All kinds of issues with it. But when it works perfectly, it's nice. I mean, it might be rare that it works perfect, but when it does, it's not bad. It's just kind of hit and miss. So skies look pretty clear. We won't file an IFR flight plan here. In fact, I don't know if I even filed IFR flight plans in San Antonio even when the weather was bad, because I didn't know what I was doing back then. So the dates on these flights are the actual real day. So like this is January 4th. I actually flew this flight on the real January 4th. So it was a few months ago. We've had a few crash courses in some aviation since then, so I'm not perfect. I'm not even really good or great, but I'm getting better. And I think as the series goes on, you'll obviously see that I get better at stuff, at knowing what I'm doing and doing things the correct way. Anybody can just take off and try to land. It's just a matter of, can you do it the way you're supposed to?
Tower Cessna Bravo Golf Tree ready at runway 14 north departure.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, altimeter 29.908, wind calm north departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 14.
All right.
Cleared for takeoff runway 14 Cessna Bravo Golf Tree.
Okay, so we're cleared for takeoff. I'll get you guys up in the air, maybe stick with you here in the commentary, maybe up until we get to our cruise altitude. We'll see. And then I'll let you guys enjoy the flight, and I will come back on as we make our way into Killeen, Texas, and our arrival up there. Okay, runway 14, let's take to the skies. It was pretty rainy and nasty when we came into San Antonio yesterday. It has cleared up, and we'll get a much better look at the city and our surroundings on this flight.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, continue for north departure.
Tower Cessna Bravo Golf Tree continue for north departure.
Alright, we're going to make a climbing turn to the left here. Head to the north. See if we can get up to... I don't think our cruising altitude needs to be too high in this flight. There's not a lot of mountains and stuff at all in the immediate San Antonio area, nor is there many in between here in Killeen. There's some hills out west of us, there's some mountains down south of us in Mexico, and there is the Gulf to the east of us. And throughout our time in San Antonio, we will hit all of those areas. We'll go out and to the west a little ways. We won't get way far into West Texas. We'll save that for another day, but we'll head out there to a couple of ranches, I think. Out west, we'll take a trip down to Corpus Christi, check out the Gulf. We will go as far as Louisiana in our time here in San Antonio, and we'll take a couple of trips south of the border down to Mexico in a couple of different areas. There's our airport, Stinson Municipal Airport. Nice view of our home for the next, I think it's 11 jobs I did here in San Antonio before moving to area number 3. So we're continuing to climb. We're at 2,500 feet. No need to adjust our mixture just yet, but we're coming up on that 3,000 foot mark. And we're trying to hold our speed at about 65 knots. It's the best climb rate for the Cessna 152. A little bit hazy down there, so we may not get a really great view of San Antonio.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
So it looks like we're...
Tower Cessna Bravo Golf Tree frequency change.
Looks like we're heading to the northwest. Try to intercept this radial that is heading mostly north, but a little bit east. So we should intercept it here in just a bit. Another look back at our airport. Some of South San Antonio area. We're above 3,000 feet. Start messing with our mixture a little bit. It's a little bit hard in the Cessna 152 because the mixture, you don't see the RPMs change a whole bunch when you do it. Nor is there really much audible from the engine, so pretty hard to judge on the mixture. Just you could look at your engine temperature. So yeah, kind of hazy down there. That storm that we flew into has moved out. A little bit of morning haze. We departed Stinson Airport at a little bit before 9 a.m. I think. What time does it say? Oh, it says the clock right there in the middle says it's 9 a.m. right now. So yeah, just a little bit before 9 a.m. Right now it is looks like it's like 9:03 a.m. We'll see what time we get up to Killeen, Texas. Alright, there's a look down through the haze at San Antonio. We continue to head north. Didn't get a real good look at the city. And we are up just above 5,000 feet. And it looks like we're up about to our cruise altitude, so I'm going to leave you guys here. We got some cinematics, a few cutscenes. Sit back, enjoy this little trip up to Killeen, Texas, and as we begin our descent, I'll jump back in and talk you guys down.
Austin approach Cessna Bravo Golf Tree is type Cessna 152 3 miles southwest of 51 Tango Tango, 6,400 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree, Austin approach. Squawk Tree 024.
Squawk Tree 024 Cessna Bravo Golf Tree.
Cessna Bravo Golf Tree radar. Contact 2 miles south of 51 Tango Tango, 6,400 feet. Altimeter 29er decimal 9er 8.
Roger, Cessna Bravo Golf Tree.
It's a nice little look at the city of Austin as we fly at altitude up above the Austin Bergstrom International Airport. We're about, I don't know, 6,400 feet here and climbing a little bit. So just want to jump back in and point out the city of Austin over there and the airport beneath us. And we're getting fairly close to our descent, or to our arrival in Killeen.
India Lima Echo Automated Weather Observation 1500 Zulu. Wind, calm. Visibility, 10. Sky condition, 9,800 feet, scattered few clouds at 13,700 feet. Temperature, 10C dew point, 10C altimeter 299er7.
Kilo India Lima Echo traffic Cessna Bravo Gulf Tree 20 miles south, 6,100 feet inbound to land runway 19er.
So the weather looks pretty nice in Killeen. Good visibility. A few scattered clouds, but they are quite a ways above ground level. And we're about 20 miles from Killeen, Skylark Field. And we are going to land on... The wind has changed on us a little bit. It went from the north to the south, but it's still only 3 knots, so it's not a ton of wind. But we are still going to change our anticipated runway. We're going to anticipate landing on runway 19 instead of runway 1. And let's bring this down. Bring this guy down in to testify in this military trial. We continue to creep closer and closer to being able to purchase our second airplane. There's several that we could afford right now, but we're going to kind of power through this San Antonio area without buying anything. And when we get to our third area, we might start looking more seriously at making our second airplane purchase. Really been a pretty smooth flight. So we come into Killeen. Our next job here in San Antonio, we'll be heading to the Corpus Christi area and the Gulf Coast. That one's a pretty adventurous flight. This one, pretty run-of-the-mill. Weather cooperated with us. It wasn't a super long distance. Now we just got to focus on getting this thing into the airport. Make sure we don't bounce on our landing or have anything crazy happen. Again, if you're new, if we bounce on a landing, it costs us some money. If we land off the runway, it costs us some money. If we crash, it costs us a lot of money, and we don't get our payment for the trip if we crash. If we land off the airport, for example, in the Las Vegas area, we had one instance where we happened to run out of gas and had to put it down in the desert. We were still able to get a tow to the nearest airport, take off, and finish that job and still get paid. However, later in one of the episodes, we crashed our plane, and not only did that cost us $5,000, but we also did not get paid for that job, so that was pretty costly. Alright, we are right on that radial coming away from the that last VOR station. We are at 2,500 feet. You can see off in the distance what appears to be a tower. Killeen, Texas. There's a couple of airports right close together. One of them is a civilian airport, which is the one we're going to try to land at. The other one is a military airport. And so there you can see one of them is off to the left and one of them is straight ahead of us. And I can't remember which one is which, to be honest. By the looks of our VOR, I would say the military one is off to our left and the civilian one is straight ahead. But I could definitely be wrong. It was too long ago that I actually did this flight. So if we're not heading into that airport that's straight ahead of us, we're going to make a left. But yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point that the military one was to the left and this is the civilian airport. Skylark Field or whatever it was called. And it looks like we may be trying to drop down into the traffic pattern right here. So, unless that's it, I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it like that's our airport. The heading of that runway does look like 19, so I don't know what we're doing here. So we're crossing over at 2,000 feet. And it looks like we're going to drop into the traffic pattern at this airport over here on the left. So this must be the civilian one on the left, and that was the military one just ahead of us. So we're right at 2,000 feet. When we pulled up that airport information, I should have noticed the elevation of the airport, but I didn't. But I can't imagine it's more than like 300 or 400 feet above sea level at this point. So we'll see. We're at 2,000 feet. We want to drop down into the traffic pattern at about 1,000 feet above ground level. And now we're going to take a 45-degree angle into our upwind leg of our traffic pattern and drop our altitude down to about 1,000 feet above ground level if we can maintain that. See if we can. Get our heading back to 190. And we're in the traffic pattern now. We're on our upwind leg. Head this way a little ways and then we will take a left. For our crosswind leg. Guess we're going to let the airport know we're on crosswind now.
Kilo India Lima Echo Traffic Cessna Bravo Gulfstream is on crosswind runway 19er.
I don't know that you necessarily have to do that on some of these small airports that, I mean, in real life maybe you do, but these airports that don't have any tower to talk back to you, I think I kind of stopped. Outside of just letting them know that we're inbound to land, I think that's about it. And maybe I would tell them when we're on final.
Kilo India Lima Echo Traffic Cessna Bravo Gulfstream is on downwind runway 19er.
Alright, so we're going to go to our downwind leg here. Try to stay parallel with the runway. These lucky houses below us get to be right underneath our traffic pattern. Probably get used to hearing airplanes fly over their heads. Okay, so we're down to 1,500 feet. There's our runway off to the left. There's the military airport with the tower over there. To the northwest, we're heading almost directly to the north. We're going to land heading almost directly to the south. We'll be just a little bit to the southwest. Trying to stay around 1,500 feet, 1,600 feet is where we're at right now. Pretty smooth, not too bumpy. Not a lot of wind to speak of.
Kilo India Lima Echo Traffic Cessna Bravo Gulftree is on base runway 19er.
Alright, we're going to turn on to base here. And we are at 1,500 feet, maybe dropping a little bit below that. Got to remember to watch my altitude. Spend a lot of time on these watching my compass to make sure that I'm on the right headings.
Kilo India Lima Echo Traffic Cessna Bravo Gulftree is on final runway 19er to land.
Okay, let's turn on to final. We're right at about 60 knots. Pretty sure we've got our flaps extended. I do not remember doing that, or I don't remember hearing it. Alright, our first job in the San Antonio area is almost complete. Let's see how our landing is here. Keep our speed right around 50 knots. 55, I don't know. I'd like to be closer to 55 as we cross the threshold, 55 or 60. So our speed's a little bit lower than I would like it to be, but I think we'll still be alright. Getting pretty close to stalling here. And we're down. Pretty smooth flight all the way around, to be honest. Nothing too crazy happened in this one. It's not always the case, but we'll take the good ones when we get them. Alright, from San Antonio up to Killeen, our first job is almost in the books. Our next one, we will head, it's going to be quite a bit longer. We'll head to the Gulf Coast. We'll bring our flaps back up. It's so fun to be able to just fly wherever you want, you know? Like, just, it like gives a whole new meaning to open world. Like, I love open world games. This is like the ultimate open world game. Like, literally the entire world is open. Go wherever you want. I think at this point I've landed at almost 500 different unique airports since I started playing this. Very rarely, I have landed at several times, but for the most part, every time I land, it's a new airport. For the most part, there's a few duplicates here and there. Some of my favorite places to fly, maybe, but for the most part, I want to see new airports every chance I get, or new approaches, new areas. Okay, we made it to Killeen. Shut her down, see how we did, see how much money we made. It's our first job of January, so we've got to pay our December maintenance fee and our January ramp fee. And check in on our fuel situation. Alright, 10:20 a.m. We left just a little bit before 9. Skylark Field, Killeen, Texas. We got the job done. Let's look at what we earned. It wasn't a huge job. It wasn't a really long one. And we earned money by the planned nautical mile if you're new. So 133 nautical miles was our plan, so $6,650. 15.92 gallons of gas, $191. Our December maintenance fee was $500. Our January ramp fee is $450. That's going to leave us with $154,776.80. And that's it for our first job in San Antonio. It's Microsoft Flight Simulator and Mama's Basement.